in case you didn't realize this, and I'm going to hope that you already know this, but words and actions are so incredibly powerful. And they are the seeds for tomorrow. What you say is either moving you closer to where you want to be and who you want to be, or moving you further away. It's either adding to your relationship or detracting from it. So what you amplify, what you share with the world, the messages you take in and then reshare, and what you're replicating in your own life is something you should seriously be aware of. My cat is playing with my glasses. Hang on. Stormy, please don't do that. He wants attention. He doesn't want mom shooting a video. He doesn't realize videos help pay for his cat food. Anyways, today we're talking about what you amplify and what you replicate. So let's talk about it. Bonjour, Mishko Paganon, Quain Edition Cosmung Dodem. Hi, everybody. My name is Sandy Boucher. I'm Red Thunderbolt Woman of the Loon Clan, a proud member of Seine River First Nation in Treaty 3 territory in Northern Ontario. And if you're new here, welcome to my channel. I hope you find today's content and my other videos valuable. Please subscribe, like, and share with your friends, because that helps me bring a country together. Indigenous Canadian reconciliation is my game. If you can help, I'd super appreciate it. Along the lines of that message, like I said in the opening, today I want to look at what you're amplifying, which means the messages you share. You hear information and you share it with someone new. So it's like turning on the speaker. You're amplifying that message and the things that you're replicating in your own life. So you think amplifying it out to other people, replicating is inward, taking it in and putting it into practice in your own life. Oh, there goes kitty cat. So many different areas we need to look at. So you might want to grab a pen and paper for this. So the first area we're going to look at is when you're talking to yourself. By the way, if you Googled how to be successful, one of the first things they're going to tell you is to master your self-talk, to look at how you're talking to yourself. As a 10-year domestic abuse survivor, I am well aware of the fact that the abuse continues long after the relationship ends, and it's encapsulated in the words in your head, your thoughts in your head, the things you say to yourself. So what messages are you amplifying to yourself? So if you hear a positive quote, are you repeating that over? Does it become a mantra or an affirmation? That would be amplifying a good message to yourself. Or are you repeating every negative, horrible thing you ever heard and calling yourself names? I think you can see that the positive would help you grow into the person and into the future that you want. And the negative, that you're building a wall that you are going to have to climb over. Stop building the wall. It is easy. It sounds simplistic, but that voice in your head is programmable, if no one's ever told you that. And again, I know this firsthand because I changed mine. And I don't say the nasty things to myself that I used to. And every now and then, if something even slightly negative sneaks in, I automatically change it without thought. Mastery, unconscious competence, right? Okay, then, so this is talking to yourself. So what are you replicating? What are you? Is it the good stuff or the bad stuff? What are you amplifying to yourself? Now we're going to talk about your friends, your friend group. What are you amplifying to them? Are you sharing positive or negative with them? Are you gossiping? That would be negative, by the way. Judgment, negative. Bullying, negative. No good is going to come of that. We can talk about First Nation communities where bullying and gossiping and that judgment is rampant. Guess how it changes? The people choose to stop, not when someone else does. They got to be those early adopters, right? You got to be the one to stop it. Or are you replicating good messages and good practices and sharing with your friends what worked for you? I hope that's what you're doing. Not competing with each other, but supporting each other. When the water rises, all boats rise, right? When the tide comes in, help all of us, right? Like help each other. Now, we're going to talk about the reality. And this one makes me sad, but I realize it's the truth. A lot of people, what they say in public compared to what they say in the four walls of their own home are night and day. They could be the most positive, supportive person out in the world, and they come home and criticize their children and judge and condemn their partner. They may be an example of a great way to live in public and replicate all their worst baggage at home. And I can think of one example. It always comes to mind. When I was in public school, did you have a favorite teacher? I definitely had a few favorite teachers. And when I was in high school, of course, you have a variety of teachers for every different subject. And there was this one teacher I adored, absolutely just loved. She happened to be the parent of one of the students in my grade, but I just loved this woman. Years later, 10, 15, 20 years after I graduated, I had the chance. I was back on home turf in my home community, and I had the chance to visit her because I knew her daughter. I could not believe what was coming out of her mouth in reference to Indigenous students. And they say don't meet your heroes, which, by the way, I don't agree, because I've met heroes and they were everything I dreamt of and more. I think you should meet them, because if they don't live up to your expectations, then you know your expectations were false, and probably that they were false. And that's what happened in this case. Now, I didn't say anything. For one, this was way before my empowerment years, so I've done that cycle of having to deal with racism as well. Two, I was raised that you don't attack your host. I was sitting in her home. So I'm not sure how I would react today. I would probably bare minimum get up and leave so that I can't be in her house. I may not, well, I wouldn't attack, but I would definitely say, okay, this is baloney and I'm out of here. This is offensive and I'm out of here. So makes me want to go visit her to see, do I really want to subject myself to that? I don't know. Along the same lines of what you say and do at home, what about at work? And I'm not talking about at your desk or dealing with customers or clients. I'm talking about in the staff room, or for those who still indulge, outside for a smoke break. What are you replicating? What are you amplifying? What are you adding fuel to? What are you keeping alive? Are you proud of yourself? I remember when it was my stepdaughter, this years and years ago. She's now a full-grown woman with a large family of her own. But at the time, she would have been in junior high, I guess. And she would come home every now and then, and she got in trouble with the teacher. And the question was always the same. The first thing I would ask her or any of my kids would be, if I had been standing in the back of the room when this happened, would I have been proud of the way you acted? Forget about the teacher. Would I have been proud of what you did? Now, most often the response is, yeah, no, you wouldn't have been proud. So to my mind, then don't tell me I'm not going to worry about what the teacher did, because that's the consequences to your actions. But every now and then I heard, no, you would have been absolutely proud of me. I didn't do anything wrong. That's when I went to talk to the teacher. So how are you conducting yourself? What are you amplifying? What are you replicating? Now, it is 2024, so we better talk about online. I want you to be, by the way, I hope you are past where we're sharing articles. We can't even really do that. There's so many restrictions, well, at least in Canada, on what you can share online now. You can't share news anymore. But don't just share it because of the title. If you didn't read it, and if you don't agree with what it said, or if it's not something you want to share because you totally disagree with it, but know what you're sharing first. And then think twice about what you're sharing. Are you adding to the negative or to the positive? I post, like it used to be, to my motivational group. I don't have that group anymore. But if you follow me on Threads, I try to post like a motivational image, a little quote every single morning, trying to add to the good. Like, what are you amplifying? What are you replicating? Think about that. Everyone has the right to whine every now and then, but do you really need to put that out into the hemisphere? Like, do you really, what are you amplifying? Are you helping? That is the question, because please help. So what I want you to do is strive to elevate, strive to help, strive to add energy and power to things that are going to improve our day-to-day reality. So I want you to elevate yourself and the way you talk to yourself. Elevate your kids. Elevate your partner. Elevate your colleagues, your friends, and even strangers that you meet. You have an impact. Can we work together to make sure it's a positive one? Does that make sense? And I'm Anishinaabe Kwe in Canada. I could have so easily become bitter. And my mom would call it being a leaf in the wind. If the way you act is because of the way everyone else is acting, then they're blowing you around like the dead leaf. You be you. You be in charge of you and your life and the type of person you are. That is your choice. So what are you amplifying? What are you replicating? It's up to you. And we can see. So that determines so much of who's in my friend group. Food for thought. Until tomorrow, I love you. Take care. Bye-bye.